It was important for all of us involved, to really be here and immerse ourselves in this environment and really hear the first-hand accounts and the first-hand stories. And especially for me, playing this man from, which is now Zimbabwe, but he says he's from Rhodesia, which is the old name for the sort of English colonization of that area, to speak to people that were from actually that place and hear their stories and what they had to go through, and not to mention hearing them speak firsthand and all the slang, because it is a completely different environment than anything I've ever experienced in my entire life. I think in a lot of ways Archer is, he starts off as a very unsympathetic character, but I think he's a man that's really looking for his own identity in a sort of post-apartheid environment in Africa. And having, been a part of the wars there and been a part of the South African military, he's put in a position where, he wants to leave this place, he wants to leave this place that he's lived his whole entire life, and the only thing he can sort of fall back on is his military background and his ability to obtain diamonds and sort of deal in the black market. And the story starts off with him doing an illegal diamond trade for arms. He gets busted, and then he hears about this rare pink stone, and that's where the movie sort of kicks off. Really, pretty much all Ed Zwick's development and his writing and his research, and really having come to Africa himself and experienced all these stories firsthand, which really went into the development of it's a complex, highly emotional script, and it was him that put all the effort into it and made this film what it is. And as soon as I read the script, I saw that there was, a mass amount of personal research involved, and I was immediately drawn to it and wanted to do it simply for that reason. Just to sort of call Sorius a consultant on this film is a disservice, because he's had such a tremendous amount of influence, not only in the communication that he's had with us as actors and really talking about the conflict in a first-hand account and really, vividly describing the details of what went on in a way that we could never sort of capture in our own imaginations from books or reading. Sorius has continued to and does continue to document a wide variety of different situations in Africa, and has put his own life at risk in trying to tell these stories in his documentaries. So Jaimin and I spent an extensive amount of time just sitting with him and hearing these accounts and really hearing about the struggle firsthand. I cannot compliment him enough as an actor and as a person. I mean, and specifically being an African man and hearing the stories about his childhood and what it was like growing up in Benin, and what it was like to be an African man, going to Europe at a very young age, being not financially stable at all, and eventually coming to Los Angeles and becoming an actor. It's an unbelievable story in its own right, and he's turned out to be such a powerhouse of an actor. I mean, the compassion that he has for this story is unbelievable, and the camaraderie that we've had throughout the course of this movie is amazing. We've really become, partners and friends in a real sort of profound way. She's a phenomenal actress. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You could tell that whatever she puts up on screen, there's a lot of work involved beforehand in preparation. And she really wanted to portray this character as a really, sincerely an individual that goes into these war-torn countries as a journalist and is not afraid to put her own life on the line to tell these very real stories. And I think the conflict that her character deals with in a lot of ways is, what is it all for? We meet Archer, and he's selling arms to the rebels, the very people that he's been fighting against his entire life, in order to obtain illegal diamonds, blood diamonds. And we find him doing an illegal diamond trade and getting caught. So here he is with his big sort of meal ticket to get out of the continent, in a position again where he has nothing, and he has no financial stability and no way of leaving this sort of continent that he really despises in a lot of ways. And that's where the story sort of kicks off, because he hears about this rare pink diamond, which represents to him every new possibility in the world of getting out of the environment that he's lived in.